Oh, that's too much water. There we go. Oh, I got the fat boy. Oh, yeah, look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, you gonna bite me? You gonna bite me? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, fat boy? Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Houston with Problem. I got a fat cat in my lap, got a monkey dog to my left. I'm gonna scratch his little face till it comes apart. Yo-yo keeps on going. The markets, after they're like woohoo that tariffs aren't going to be as bad as they initially were, are realizing that it's still pretty bad, and everyone's pissed at us, and no one wants our bonds still, and no one wants to do business with us or trade with us or buy our products, and it seems like the entire world's going to boycott the United States of America. So everything went today. GameStop still had a nice little puny pop, went above 26 before settling down when everyone realized that, no one likes us anymore. And then here we are. So some insiders bought 10,000 more shares. Anything else to add in that, monkey? Apparently we might be going to war with Iran next week for some reason. And yeah, so that's what I got. You guys got anything? Otherwise, I'm just gonna shablap that. Right, buddy? You're such a... Okay. I almost hit the end stream rather than turn off the intro button. Oh crap! What happened? No, what happened? Why is my mouse double clicking all of a sudden? What happened when I tried to set up the show? No, don't drink my water. Chaos. It's raining here. We're gonna put you next to the dogs. You turds can just hang out together. Okay. Intro off this time. Bam. Okay. There we go. The double clicking of the mouse happened when I was trying to click through the start of the show, and you click through like 3 screens and you get to the one that sets the time, and it double clicked and just clicked OK and just set the time for 40 minutes ago. But it wasn't ready yet. Obviously, I'm not even ready now, apparently. But Louis was first. He threw a bunch of stickers in there. And then I was second, telling everyone that the show actually starts in 40 minutes. Brandon Wells, up BBBY, how much do you think NOLAB is worth a share? I don't think anything sorry, cat hair. I don't think any fresh news today with BBBY. NOLAB's worth a share. I mean, their intellectual property, if they supposedly they just got like an appraisal done or an audit done on their patents and what they hold, and it was calculated in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So that comes out to like $100 a share, just based upon what the value of those patents are. So if they can actually start building devices and getting this, hey buddy, back up on my lap again. If they get devices out there, then that goes up a lot more. So yeah. Michael, ping. Artemis Dan Michael, I was typing lol. Guess I'm fourth now. Mike Hobbs, heading out to Scottsdale and Sedona with wife and older kids next week. What are some things that we must do or see? It's been a long time since I've been down to Sedona. But Sedona, my favorite thing at Sedona is, I think it's called Slick Rock. It's a bedrock stream that's slippery, and you just get in, it's like a natural water slide. It's real fun. I had a great time at that. This time of year, it's probably getting warm. It's probably getting warm all right up there. When I've been there, it's been like August, and it's like a perfect weather because it's hot as shit, and you get in water sliding around. So it's like, I think it's called like Slick Rock State Park or something, or Slide Rock, Slick Rock. Yeah, people from Sedona will be able to tell you exactly what it is. But I had a great time there. Go see the ghost town of Jerome, which is not so much a ghost town anymore because people have like moved back and there's lots of artists there. Go to Prescott. Check out my technically not my stepmom because she's my dad's first wife, but she has an art gallery there, Anne Alexander Art Gallery, that my sister runs, and she makes amazing art. And there's lots of cool art galleries. So if you go to Prescott, go there. Climb Thumb Butte. Go see if you can go see like the rock house, like Elefante. It's a house built out of rocks and like glass that's in the shape of an elephant. And this cat is shitting and don't get my water. No cat hair in the water. I feel like a mosquito net around my water. Yeah. You can pan for gold and Prescott Creek goes right through town there. That's cool. So yeah. Do that. Him B gifted 5 memberships. Walt Man in the Middle, Bex, Larry Dubs, Rycak, John H. I think we got ourselves a lurker, right? We got a lurker right there. You excited? Got a lurker. Great. Thank you, Him B. And don't see you shade him. Top 3 of your favorite rock albums and why. Change your pace. You have a musical side. If you know that. Ooh. 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 Okay, top 3. Sorry, cat hair is like all over my face at the moment. Oh, man. Oh, so many. Okay. I would go Zeppelin 2. The Stone Roses' Second Coming, so long as you delete 10-Story Love Song, because that song is fucking trash. But the rest of the album is incredible. And Soundgarden. Ooh. Bad Motorfinger. I think that's where I'm going. Rusty Cage, baby. There's my 3. I'm sure I'll change my mind in the next 10 minutes and come up with another 3. But Zeppelin 2, Stone Roses' Second Coming, minus 10-Story Love Song because it's trash, and then Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. Yeah. Okay, where was we? Billy Mack heard the Trust Me Bro tweet from Trump yesterday morning, but why didn't we believe him? Because he's one of those never cry wolf dudes. You can never believe anything he says. You have to analyze it and be like, is that physically possible? I don't know. So, this cat hair. Cat, stop shitting. You don't even shed that much. N9 says, let him cook, obviously, or the deal. Instead of trading out in the open, nothing will happen. Truth. AOC tweeted today that there was a whole bunch of Republicans in Congress who got the news ahead of time who also did a bunch of big trades right before Trump let it rip again. So, yeah, that's what we got. We got a whole bunch of criminals running everything, front-running everything, and crime it up. And people expect these folks are going to go out and do something about naked short selling. They're not. These are the naked short sellers. These are the folks who sell naked shorts, and we're not going to do anything about it because that's who they are. So, right, Fat Cat? Yeah. Murph Truff Studios, is that Fozzie Bear bust on your bookshelf? Is he your favorite Muppet? Gonzo the Great? Fozzie Bear bust on my bookshelf. Right this? Right there? No, that's actually a coconut pig. It's close. It's almost a Muppet. It's a pig made out of a coconut. And my dad's first wife, Anne, made it. So her art gallery, she actually doesn't specialize in this, but she made this for me when I was a kid. So, yes, it's a piggy bank. So it's a piggy bank. It's got, you put the coins in the belly, and then you can pull this husk out and get the coins out. So yeah, close to being a Muppet. There we go. Little Miss Piggy Bank. Right, Cat? Yeah. Okay. But I do like Gonzo. Favorite Muppet? I mean, I have a weakness for Beaker. And Beaker is hilarious. And Animal. Beaker and Animal. I like the Chaos Agents of Muppets. Beaker and Animal. I also like that eagle guy that like walks around like this all the time. I don't know his name, but he's blue and his mouth goes like that. And for some reason, I always liked his like look on his face. So yeah. And 9 can't shoe body bop song out of my head. Shoe body bop. I don't know. Can I read? Happy birthday, HW. Well, Trump now is giving supreme power to kick out Powell from the first Fed. From the Fed stock market crash. God damn, cat, your butt is in the way and I can't read what is. Sit down. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. Happy birthday, HW. Well, Trump is now giving supreme power to kick out Powell from the Fed. Stock market crash is going to get much, much worse. And whoever he puts in cough in place won't make the markets recover. It's just an Elon. Yeah. So if you don't know, Trump is challenging the established law where certain appointees cannot be fired by the president. There are certain appointees, like, if you are an ombudsman, head of the Fed, etc., you are appointed and you serve out your term unless you quit, basically, or if Congress fires you. And so Trump wants to fire Jerome Powell because Trump wants negative interest rates because Trump's a fucking moron and he's going to blow up the economy even worse than it already is. No one wants our bonds. No one wants them. He's made the world so mad, nobody wants U.S. treasuries. And if he makes the rates so low, people definitely aren't going to want them because there's going to be no return on them. And it's going to cause massive inflation because money will be really easy to borrow. And that'll be it. We'll be toast even more than we already are. Right, you fat turd? Yes, fat cat? Oh, okay. I just want to bite it off. So bad. I want to take like 3 little vertebrae out of there. Just crunch on them. Kelly Reid, come on, Jimmy. Project Rocket, take us to the moon. Seriously. Just pull the fucking trigger. Get us out of this. We are well past 4 years now, talking about the same crap over and over. We've done all the thumb twiddling. We've done the chin stroking. We've done the eye gouging and the ear plucking and the fart sniffing and everything else you could possibly do in that amount of time. Just, I was really hoping to be over with the show like 2 years ago. That'd be it. I'd be, skiing the Alps and high-fiving supermodels in Rio and, sailing to long-forgotten South Pacific Islands by now. But here we are. Just waiting yet again for stuff to happen. All right. Avant Green. What's the next big swap date for GME? Have you ever looked at Always Sad But Truthful's Python script for swap data? I've not looked at Always Sad But Truthful's. Always Sad But Truthful swap data. Is it on there we go. This one's from December. That's about date show and event timestamp, which March 26th this year. Executed January 31st, 2 years ago. Expiry July 31st, 2024. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's not helping. Always Sad But Truthful. Here's a Reddit tweet based list of my research. This is from when? Yeah, don't show me a date at all. Oh, 22 days ago. Okay, it's 4 years ago. Never mind. The comment was 22 days ago. Well, DM me a link to something up to date, because I am, in the quick look, I'm not seeing anything that's newer than several months ago. Yeah. I from what I understand about swaps is that you have expirations not quarterly, but every 2 months. So you have like November, January, March, June, which is 3 months, August, November again. So every 2-ish months for that. Look at it, see what it tells you. Wrong rows. All the green volume at the end of the day, still doing the barcoding. Yep, up and down all day long. Avant Green, what are the sites you use to search for large tracts of land for sale? I know Land and Farm, but there was another good one. Crap, one sec. Landwatch, that's the one. Oh no. Landwatch, this guy. Oops, that's not any guy. That's a black screen. How about we try... Landwatch automatically put me in Bainbridge Island Landwatch. But we can cross that guy out and we can just do Washington State. And you can actually search it by acreage. So you can... where's sort? Acres, large to small. Boom. Here you go. You can get 230,000 acres, basically buy an entire Aleutian Island. That's pretty cool for $11 million. Who doesn't want to own their own volcano? Like, how bitchin' is that? Not habitable in any way, shape, or form. But you could own this whole island with its own volcanoes. Like, owning your own volcano... This is like... If Elon wants to truly be a Bond villain, you do something like this. You put a bunch of snow bunnies out there. You have your own canyons, right? Your own rivers. You got, for some reason, a bunch of cows roaming this freezing-ass island. So you have your own ranch on this island full of the world's coldest cows that you send around via helicopter. So yeah, there you go. Alaskan cows. And you have a beach landing party for your Alaskan cows. And your little house and your shipping, and you got some caribou you throw up there, and yeah, so you have to be a pretty good helicopter pilot, I guess. But yeah, you got calderas all over the place, pit craters all over the place. That's pretty awesome. So you get to experience probably a really cool eruption at least once on your island in your lifetime. And look at all that! Look at all that! Look at all that! Okay, cows and grass and $11 million. Boom. Not too shabby. How do we get out of here? Get out of there. Okay. But we can also see some other cool lands in here. 225,000 acres in New Mexico. That's huge. 205,000 in Arizona. Sometimes when they mention these numbers, it's not actually 200,000 acres. Like, this one's a lie. You have 300 acres, and then you got 205,000 of BLM grazing land. So, but here, yeah, Deschutes, 197,000 acres in Bend, Oregon. Holy smokes. $227 million. That's a lot of timber. It's a lot of, that's a lot. But yeah, Landwatch is a good one. If you want cheap land, like tax foreclosure cheap land, landcentral.com. So Land Central, and they do like owner finance. Sometimes you can find decent stuff, especially as the economy tanks. A bunch more shows up. Advanced search. Let's do more than 10 acres. Let's see what we got. Search land. So these ones will be usually slightly smaller, between like 30 and 100 acres is kind of where they sell here. But if you want chunks of desert in places, it's great. When the economy collapsed back in 08, 09, 2010, you could actually get big chunks of ranch land in Montana, like 1,000 acres and stuff were popping up on here because they were basically tax foreclosured. Let's do largest to small. So what's the biggest? We got 50 acres is the biggest they have right now. So that's in Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, Arizona, Nevada, California, the desert. But yeah, search that way. You'll find things. And I'm not sure how much auction.com has right now for land. Let's you go away. I want your advanced search. What happened to your advanced search here, auction.com? You used to have one. Well, Washington, no, I want county. I want Washington State. That's all right. Fine. We'll just do Grant County. Grant County, Indiana. No, Grant County, Washington. Jeez, my knees. Okay. Where else would they have big land? Yakima. Yakima, Washington, Yakima County. There we go. All right. What do we got? Building type property. They have switched their search here. More filters. No. Grant. It's only seen as houses. They used to have land. I swear. Whatever. All right. Use those. Done. Oh crap! I forgot to turn off the nighttime one from yesterday. Some days, dude, it's just not. Everything's a jumble. It's because yesterday I talked about how I'd gone several days without doing a second intro, and now I've done 3 of them. I'm like off my routine or something. Something's off. Something's amiss. Okay, just Miami. Someone is buying GME calls in very similar style to Roaring Kitty's 5,000 blocks. It's your XDM. I did see a pop about that earlier. Oh crap! What just happened? Sorry, did my streaming just vanish? There we go. Okay, sorry, my stream load just kind of vanished on me here for a second, but now it's back. Yeah, it looks like, and they're buying for that same period in May that was purchased last year in April. So, Ryan Cohen and Board of GameStop, give us, BBBY holders, a cash payout before the end of May. So that May 17th, 18th, whenever those things are going to go puny pop, and we're going to push a bunch of stuff into the money and have a gamma squeeze. Just make it happen. Just get us some extra crumbs. We'll eat them up, and then we will play the options market. And I expect you to dilute. You can dilute this time around. We know ahead of time you're going to dilute on the Friday. You're going to fuck everyone over. So we can build up huge amounts leading into that Friday, and then get a whole bunch of puts on it ahead of then, and then you can dilute all you want, and we'll make money on the downside. How about that? We'll just do that. It'll work. Or just fucking pull the trigger already, dude. Just pull it. But yes, someone is buying big 5,000 blocks of those Mays. And implied volatility is still really low. So they're not that expensive comparatively. Just last year, the stock price was at like $10, and all those 12s were purchased. Okay. I lost my spot again. Okay. That was the gifting of memberships. That was... Oh crap, I missed the Bill Coin Super Chat. I'm sorry, Bill. All China and the world has to do is wait. Exactly. That's all I have to do. Just wait. Just wait, because eventually he'll go away. And the United States will open back up again, hopefully with not a giant clown in charge. Hopefully. Okay, that was the Avant Green one. Chris Taylor was not first. Ferris F. How can we make society better? turn public schools into palaces. Encourage reading at home. Get people universal health care. Yeah, like some of the biggest problems we have as society is the fact that when you fall through the cracks, you're lost forever. So if you've got psychosis, you got drug, substance abuse, alcohol problems, you have PTSD, and you slip through the cracks, you don't have a familial support system, that's it. You're done. You're on the street, and you're probably never coming back from that. And if you're on the street, you probably end up racking criminal records, and you're just done. You're just done as a member of society, and you'll be on the outside forever. It's not to say that some people don't find the limited social services we have and make it out, but not many do, especially if they've got mental illness and they need healthcare for it. So yeah, we want to make ourselves better. We need to be more empathetic as a nation, and we need to see the treatment and betterment of individuals as an investment in the future that makes everyone's lives better. We spend more money sort of dealing with the symptoms of homelessness and other societal problems than actually solving it, which is cheaper. I've talked about this a million times. The city of Seattle spends $200 million a year via their city budget on homelessness, $200 million a year via their police budget on homelessness, and another $900 million plus gets donated to charities who work with the homeless. And that comes out to $108,000 per homeless person in Seattle. Now, if you gave a homeless person $8,000 a month, they're not going to be homeless anymore. They're going to be able to afford a home. Now, if you got that person $8,000 a month plus health care to fix whatever their problems are, help institutionalize them for a while. Get them on meds, Thorazine, whatever, Prozac, Xanax, I don't know, whatever they need. Then all of a sudden, the mental illness goes away. They could become functioning members of society again, and you don't have a homeless person who's a problem anymore. So yeah, we need to do some direct action. We also need to not forego maintenance on this country. We defer maintenance a lot, and it bites us in the ass. Meaning, we cut money to the National Weather Service and NOAA, and then the warning systems are no longer in place to warn folks that heavy rains are coming to South Texas or Tennessee or Kentucky, and then floods hit almost without warning for a lot of people. Same thing will happen with tornadoes, same thing will happen with hurricanes, etc. We cut the pandemic response team, and we cut the USAID epidemiologists, the rapid response teams, who their job was to halt and stop novel virus outbreaks in their tracks, to save $80 million, and ended up costing us $21 trillion in lost productivity when COVID hit. And we didn't have a plan for it because we fired the people who have plans for these things. George W. Bush in New Orleans, 2004, cut $30 million for the Army Corps of Engineers budget to maintain and shore up and improve the levees around New Orleans. And then a year later, Katrina hit, destroyed the levees that were supposed to be maintained, and caused $500 billion in damage. You don't save money on your car by foregoing an oil change. In the short term, like, hey, I didn't spend $100 on that. Sweet. And then you blow up your engine, and thousands of dollars later, there you are. So a great way to make society better is to not forego that maintenance. See the maintenance not only as the proper duty to keep society working and flowing, but the people who are employed to do that maintenance have long-term job security and make their local areas better in the meantime. But right now what we're doing is we are slicing away at folks who work at Treasury. They're laying off 3,000 workers at Treasury right now. They're laying off IRS workers. They're laying off USDA, FDA, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're laying off all these folks who provide very real services that cannot be provided by the private sector, because the private sector cannot be trusted with that duty. They can't. You cannot have somebody operate a for-profit food testing facility that will then actually enforce food safety on producers. That's why the USDA and FDA exist, because private industry could not be trusted to police themselves, right? Saving thousands and thousands of lives a year because we limit the amount of listeria, salmonella, E. coli, etc. outbreaks that we could have seems like a good thing for not only society as a whole, but for the businesses who are eventually affected and destroyed when they've got shitty food they send out. So, yeah, improve society, take care of your citizens, maintain your infrastructure, educate your population. Done. There you go. Simple enough. And then when you have those three things, then you can like nitpick and do little stuff around the edges. Silver Spock, so much for the intro streak. His predictions. I was watching the Bob Dylan movie with a conservative-leaning friend who's on the edge of the manosphere and tried to say Bob Dylan wasn't involved with the left, and I shouldn't say he is. Is that it? You shouldn't say he is? Well, interesting about Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan definitely was involved with the left. Then Bob Dylan became born again. Remember those weird born again albums he had? Those were weird and they're pretty terrible. And what's interesting is that the really bad Reagan movie that came out, Bob Dylan did the main song on the soundtrack for that. Like, Bob, what are you doing? I think sometimes Bob Dylan might lean more towards contrarian than politically stout at times. He's also drunk a lot, so that also kind of affects people's perception of things. But I think he originally was counterculture, leftist, beatnik, hippie, and then he found Jesus for some reason. Then it seemed like he sort of shied away from finding Jesus, and now he seems to may have found Jesus again. So he might like waffle between those two sides, because remember, he's still ethnically a Hasidic Jew. So I don't know. I don't really know where he's coming from half the time. But what was that movie with Toby Maguire and crap? What's his name? Names are leaving my brain. Monkey butt. It's about the writer Toby Maguire, and it had Michael Douglas in it. He did a kick-ass song for that movie that was nominated for an Oscar, and when he performed it live, he was drunk as a skunk. Absolutely. I want you oh so bad. Yeah. Bob Dylan's the worst singer in the entire world. He writes great songs for other people to turn into good songs. Fantastic songs. I was like, he writes good songs, and if other people sing them, then they're fantastic songs. Speaking of favorite rock things, probably one of my favorite rock covers of all time, or in my opinion, maybe the best rock and roll cover of all time, is Ministry's cover of Bob Dylan's Lay Lady Lay. That song kicks ass. Whew, so good. So good. Industrial metal, Lay Lady Lay. Fantastic. Okay. Chris Taylor answered to Ferris's question about how to make society better. It says it starts with you asking. So nice work. You did it. 13 thumbs up is good luck, right? Sure. Beck says, "Happy birthday, Houston. Monkey needs a treat." Well, watch this. She now knows when I lean back. Ready? Oh, she didn't move at all. She's asleep. Oh, if I grab the bag. Oh, that will do it. That did it. Yep. The crinkle did it. That woke you from your slumber. Okay, monkey butt. I gotta close the bag. Yeah, stretch the stump out. Stretch that stump out. Yep. You want to pull something in the stump. Oh, the cat wants something, but you won't eat this. She will, though. Put your little nose right there. There you go. Everyone got to see your nose in camera. There we go. All right. Fat guy's like, oh, so you're not going to eat it, fat cat. You never eat treats. And 9 says 607 shows and 607 shows with multiple intros. There's a lot of them. J-Dog, double intro on the money. Damn it. Zero alert. Oh, Houston. Daniel Batchelor. Love how MMTLP trades were reversed on the last day, but everyone who profited from Walter Bloomberg's tariff post keeps their gains. Yeah, and it turns out Walter Bloomberg was right. That's the crazy thing, is that he was right. That person probably did say that Trump was going to reverse this, but they were sworn to secrecy, so everyone had to deny it. But the cat got let out of the bag on that one, huh? Yogi 2012, how much money would it take to directly register the float of NOLABs asking for post-MOAS plans? $2 million? I think you only have like 2 million shares trading, and it's trading under $1. So, yeah, you could buy up every single share of NOLAB in existence for $2 million easily. And then, register the entire float. That's something Ron should do. He should just buy up everything, turn the company private, and then get it, FDA approved or whatever, if those FDA people still exist. Joe's Miami, Bill Ackman is an asshole. That's the post, and it's true. Bill Ackman is he's a silver spoon moron. And what I mean by this is, if Bill Ackman's dad hadn't already been the CEO of a real estate investment firm in New York, and they were poor or middle class, Bill Ackman himself would be stocking shelves in a grocery store with no hope of promotion. That's how dumb he is. Bill Ackman's a dumb person who was born very, very rich and got very lucky early on. That's it. He doesn't have the actual skill level to do anything. He's just a dumb man. He's just biting himself in the ass constantly. Yogi 2012. How much money? Oh, we did that one. Slide Rock. AA. Yes, Slide Rock, not Slick Rock. Slide Rock. Thank you. David, IJWT with a banks report tomorrow. What's your take on it, bro? God bless. I think we will see banks with a whole bunch of still unrealized losses. They're desperately trying not to call all the bonds that are being defaulted on right now and figuring out ways to extend them. I think what we'll see is we'll see a whole bunch of unrealized losses, and they're just going to pretend like everything's fine still. So that's my opinion. They may take a little hit on it as they'll see deposits going down and etc. But until they finally admit to themselves that those commercial loans are toast, we're not going to see the actual price and value of those banks. True Seeker, how do you accept a gift iPhone? You go, thank you, I guess. I don't know. I don't use iPhones. So I guess you thank the person for giving you an iPhone for free. And you write them a nice note saying, thank you for the iPhone. And they buy you dinner or, I don't know, massage your feet or something. Ron Swanson, 710. If I have 150 shares of GME, would selling and buying a few leaps be more valuable if we MOAS? Technically, yes. Because 150 shares of GME, let's see here. Let's see what, let's calculator time it. Where's the calculator time button? There you are. Bam. Calculator, shaboom. Clear. Swig of water. What is that on? You shouldn't be on. Okay. Oh shit! Calculator intro off. Sorry, getting distracted here. Boom. And turn the Chrome off. Calculator on. All right. So this is terrible financial advice. Like, I have my couple thousand shares of GME. I'm not touching them. I'm leaving them there. Even I still add a little bit every once in a while, and I got some extra change left over from plays I make. I don't touch those. But if you are a degenerate gambler, which I know a lot of us are, and more degenerate than even I am, you have 150 shares of GameStop at $25 a share or so right now. So that's $3,750. Okay, let's go to the GME options chain. Options chain for GameStop. Turn the Chrome back on. Boink. So here we go. So here's the GameStop options chain. You're looking at leaps. You got Junes and you got January. So the June 20th are the near leaps, right? You can get about 10 of the at the money's at 26. You can get 15 or so at 30.31, etc. Because these things are come out. Each contract is going to be $360, $350, somewhere around there, and you can sell your 150 shares for $3,750. So if you buy leaps, you buy the Junes, you're spending $200 to $300 at a reasonable area outside the money, and if it pops, right? You got those 10 shares represent 10 contracts represents 1,000 shares, which is more than what you have. So when it pops, it's going to compound and add more money than you would otherwise. If you go for January, ding, ding, January leaps, 10 months out, you're spending $300 for 40s, so you might be able to get 10 40s. That's a long ways away. When the volatility hits, I generally play the stuff close to home. So I have April 17th for next week. I have 25 fives. These things hit 160 today, $1.60, so $160 a share or a contract. And I should have sold then, and then wait for it to dip back down and buy back in. I kicked myself for not doing that earlier. But it's done some bounces pretty high right now, and we are above $25, just barely. So the floor is a little higher than it has been. 25, 45 after hours, so almost back in the money again. With that, we'll take it. So had I've got like a meager 7 contracts right now. So let's see here. I got 25 fives. They went in the money. I've got 7 of them. They hit $160 a contract, and oops, whoa. 7 times 160, $1,120. So if I had sold, right, and then waited half an hour, they dropped back down to 88 cents. So I could have bought 12 of them. So I'd have been almost doubled the number I had. Maybe I could have gotten, with a little extra cash, gotten 13 of them. So let's say I got 13 of them. And then at close, they were $1.08, so $108. So $1,400. I would have raced. And if that sucker shot back up to $26, right? Say it goes back to $1.60 times 13. Oops, that's a 2. 13. I would have $2,000. Basically, almost doubled what I had with one little swing. And what you can also do if you want to kind of maintain the flow is when you get to a local high like that, it's going whoo and down quite a bit recently without big news happening or a roaring kitty buy-in or whatever. You can reset and you can get bigger within the week, or you can roll over pretty easily on a good day and wait for it to drop a little bit and then have just as many for the next week out. They're still pretty cheap going out even to like May 16th, which I think is where these 5,000s are coming in. Maybe it's May 20th, 23rd. No, it must be the 16th where the 5,000 contracts are coming in, because that's where I see volumes in the 10,000 range. So some contracts got purchased here in this range. And these are $1.20. So I could have sold the 25 fives I have now, get something that's 6 weeks out, a few dollars higher, and in this range, more the law ticket range. I wanted the 25.5s because it just was a little bit closer. So why is this thing showing the 26s are in the money? That's weird because the after hours price is 25.5, but the showing 26 and 26.5 is in the money on this chart. It's highlighted. That's weird. Anywho, technically yes, if it rockets, you get more out of it than you would with your shares. The difference is that if it doesn't rocket and the theta decay kicks in and the price drops and drops and drops and drops, you got nothing left at the end of it. So the risk is really high. The reward's really high, but the risk is catastrophic. Because if the price drops in GME, you still have your GME shares, and they can still go up at some point. But if everything drops on your options, then into the ether it goes. So, yeah. BTW Brand says Max Payne's at 23.50, so expected to go down tomorrow. Yeah, it missed Max Payne last week though. It dropped. It didn't climb back up. So, a week before, whenever it was they did the Bond thing, it missed Max Payne. That was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Everything's bleeding together. Time is just one giant smear at this point. Anywho, questions. What we got here? We got that's wrong. Sponsor win. Yogi 2012. Totally thought you said this cat is shitting. No, you're shedding with a D. Shedding. Little black hole of chompiness. Oh, you scratch his butt. He's got to chew on something. Scratch his butt. He's got to chew on something. I'm not chewing on anything. What's happening? Are you over it? Are you over it? Oh, now he's just gonna like sneeze. Seagill, just break down and get a sippy cup for your water. I do have the one with the straw that says turn off your intro. I haven't used it in a while because I usually burn through it so quickly I have to have a second water bottle anyway. But I should just get a baby bottle and just do that. Yogi 2012 like math rock, like minus the bear, Delta Sleep. No. Math rock, I find quite boring. Does not do it for me. Sorry. I know people who love it, and it's not my cup of tea. Tropic. Why are some parts of Africa in constant state of war and civil unrest? I say that as if things stabilize, profit can be made. Because they're made to be at war. Let's bring up ye old Google Earth, shall we? Blink. Blink. All right, let's look at Africa. Africa is huge. Just look at the size of Africa, and then you can look at North America, and you realize Africa is bigger than North America. There's more Africa than there is North America. Most people don't realize that because they look at Mercator projection maps, which distort the sizes of things as you approach the poles. It makes the northern climates look much bigger than Africa actually is. They're much bigger than they actually are, and Africa is way bigger. Africa's huge. The problem is that Africa was heavily colonized, just like much of the world, and Africa had kingdoms and tribes that ruled over pre-established borders before Western colonizers came in. And the Western colonizers did not divide the borders according to the people who lived there. They divided the borders according to European powers. So you would get weird little cutouts. Let's see here. Like, what was it? That was Togo. Togo? Yeah. So you get weird little cutouts that, like, you know, take just giant beach communities here off of Togo and give them to like Benin. And you have lines that like Equatorial Guinea gets cut out of here, and tribes went back and forth across both of them. You've got Democratic Republic of Congo, you have the Republic of Congo, and tribes are sliced through here, tribes are sliced through there. You know, Rwanda, you had the Hutus and the Tutsis. Like in Rwanda, if I remember correctly, the Hutus were the majority population, the Tutsis were the minority population. And when the Belgians came in, and the Belgians were fucking awful. Probably the worst colonizers on earth were the Belgians. You do not want Belgians to colonize you. period. They're fucking terrible. They went in and they went, oh, the Hutus have dominated for so long. We're going to give the administrative power to the Tutsis because they're a minority and they want to wield power and help, subjugate everybody. And so they did that. They pitted one part of the population against the other part of the population. And then that part of the population was awful to the Hutus. And when the Belgians were finally like, all right, you're free, do your thing, the Belgians were so bad that any infrastructure they built, they took with them. They never really bothered to educate the population. So unlike the Spaniards or the English or the French, there were no locals who were trained to read, have administrative power, etc., be able to facilitate and do these things. And so there's nothing left but resentment. And then the Hutus were like, there's 80% of us and 20% of you. We're just going to hack you all to death with machetes. And that's what they did. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, you had Mobutu, who was here. And Mobutu was a third grade elementary school teacher and one of like 300 people who could read. Actually, in several African countries, when the vacuums of the colonizers left, school teachers became the most brutal fucking dictators you could possibly imagine. I think Mobutu, Idi Amin, and Mugabe, I think they were all former school teachers. If I remember correctly. I might be mixing up one of those. But yeah, so you had tribes that got cut in half, tribes that got pushed together, and you have a whole bunch of resources that are wanted by Westerners. So the Westerners send in mercenaries, right? You end up in a place like Angola or Congo as a mercenary. You might not be getting paid in cash from like such and such company, but you'll get stock certificates from those companies, but you'll be being paid through like a third party, and you might be sniping people who come near an oil pipeline. Your job might be to enforce and make sure slaves in diamond pits in Angola don't leave. You might be trying to fight off warlords trying to take over coltan or tin mines out in Congo or Rwanda or Uganda. You might be, having places like Nigeria where the southern half of Nigeria is largely like evangelical Christian and Catholic, and the northern half of Nigeria is Islamic, Muslim. And you've got bleed-ins of terroristic groups that come in through the Sahara and arm and outfit, Islamist terrorists. You got places like Sudan, which southern part is Christian, northern part is Arabic and Muslim. You got lots of resources, so the country is split religiously and racially. Very, very dark African to the south, lighter skinned Arabic to the north, and they fucking hate each other. There's lots of mineral resources, oil resources they can fight over, all sorts of things going on. Same thing with like Eritrea, Djibouti, and Ethiopia. Somalia is also Cat, shut up, dude. You're not going anywhere until I'm done. Figure it out. Somalia also is absolutely just probably the most pure libertarian system in the entire world. You cannot rely upon the government for anything. You have to worry about taxes, right? Basically, might is right in Somalia, and that's what you get. Kenya, like the strife in Kenya is fairly stable for an African nation. But even then, the elections are dominated by tribes, and there's tribal strife when election time comes around because, they basically campaign on, hey, you like me, I'll fuck up that other tribe. And the other tribe's like, no, like me, I'll fuck up that tribe over there. And then you get strife in that. Tanzania actually has just had an assassination of one of their political leaders. That's shitty. South Africa, of course, we know is just profound racism. Same thing with Zimbabwe. As leftovers of colonial power. In southernmost Africa, Namibia is fairly stable these days. When the Germans were there, the Germans were real shit colonizers too. The Germans, Hermann Goering's father was the one in charge of the ethnic cleansing in Namibia. Basically, they were the first to truly industrialize the murder of the population. You know, we did it in the United States with like disease, cholera, and smallpox and everything, and guns and battlefields. But they really created an industrial institution to just slaughter Namibians and take their land. Like literally like factories. You go in one end and come out ash on the other. And that setup is how they did the Holocaust during World War II. Was Hermann Goering's dad basically was the general in charge of that operation in Namibia. Today, Namibia is fairly stable. It's one of the most lightly populated nations on Earth. That might be one reason why it's fairly stable. Botswana, post De Beers getting crushed in the early 2000s, has done a great job educating the population and streamlining the diamond industry. So it used to be slaves basically would mine the diamonds and then send them off to Antwerp or India or Thailand where they would get cut. Now they're in-house doing it. They have their diamond cutters in Botswana, so they do a pretty good job of that. In South Africa, it's just rife with racism. Same thing with Zimbabwe, and you know, people complain, oh, the farmers in Zimbabwe got their land taken from them. The problem wasn't that the land got taken from them in Zimbabwe. The problem is that the folks who took the land from the white farmers in Zimbabwe did not know how to run farms. Because remember, the white people stole the land from the Africans in Zimbabwe first. So stealing it back, I don't blame them. The big problem was that they weren't educated enough to run the factory farms. So you might have, you know, factory farms with tens or hundreds of thousands of chickens, right, on a farm. They did not know how to do that. You know, you need some administrative skill to operate large farms like that, big cattle ranches, etc. Know how to buy the feed, distribute it, etc. And they just didn't have the education or know-how to do that. So they took the farms, and the farms fell apart as a result. In South Africa, you're having, you know, some people claiming that farms are being stolen, etc. But it's usually from farmers who aren't paying things, and they're getting foreclosed on. You know, you had like really gnarly wars like in Sierra Leone back in the 90s, Ivory Coast. Burkina Faso is landlocked but very mineral rich. A lot of gold in Burkina Faso, and so the Russians basically set up a coup there recently where the military took over. Yeah, I mean, you got places like Morocco and Western Sahara. So Mauritania claims a good chunk of this, but Morocco administrates it, and so there's lots of strife going on between those because the lines were arbitrarily drawn. Mali, same way. Kitty, dude, you're not going anywhere. You got a minute or so, and then I'll let you go places. But yeah, that's kind of how it's the same thing with the Middle East, right? The problems in the Middle East had to do with the fact that these lines were drawn arbitrarily between colonial powers and separating tribes and people and pushing together folks that did not want anything to do with each other. Like, you know, you have Wahhabi Sunnis down here, right? And then in Iraq, you have your Sunnis, you have your Shia, and then you have your Kurds. And these are basically three different nations pushed together into one. And same thing with Turkey. Like, this is Kurdish up here. In Syria, this is Kurdish over here. In Iran, this is Kurdish over here. There should be a Kurdistan that takes over this. And there isn't. And instead, what you have is you got all these countries being like, fuck you, Kurds, you're ours. And the Kurds being like, we don't want to be yours. And so you get strife. You know, in Syria, you have, you know, you've got your secularists, like the Ba'ath regime that were Assad. You've got Druze, who are their own religion. You have Kurds, who are Muslim, but kind of Kurds Sufi. I can't remember. A little more mysticism. And then you have, you know, your Shia and Sunni Muslims that all hate each other. And it's, you know, it's just a mess. Everything's just a fucking mess at all times because these arbitrary lines got drawn through stuff by colonial powers. And, you know, we're going to be dealing with it for the rest of our lives and our children's lives and our grandchildren's lives, and until we make alien contact and we finally become like the Federation of Confederate Earth or whatever. I don't know what to call it. And then finally we'll be like, fuck you aliens. Then we'll go carve up their space. So, yeah. Cat, shut up. Like, come here. We'll say our goodbyes together. Come on, right here. No, wait, it's time for us to go. So come here. Okay. Got the fat cat. Oh, you're so round. You are so round, fat cat. You're the roundest goddamn cat in the entire world. You can't even think right now because you're upright and you don't know what to do about it because you're never upright because you're just a fat turd. Yeah. Okay, everybody. I not get to all your questions. I barely got to any of your questions. We'll do a show tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And you guys will have a fantastic day. And we will see the yo-yo happen yet again, right? Okay. Anyway, let's go our fourth intro here. Shwink. Belly. You're so fat. Ready? We haven't done kitty nipples in a long time. Everyone want to see some nipples? Oh, look at those nipples. Look at those. Whoa, he's slipping. He got kitty nipples. The nipples. Oh, you're gonna bite me? You fat boy? You gonna bite me? You gonna bite the hand that holds you? All right, get over there. Ow. Okay. Bye, everybody.